Hey guys, today I want to show you guys the technique exercises I've been doing to improve my jump technique. In all honesty, my jump technique isn't terrible, but there's still a lot to improve. I got a lot of comments from you guys asking me to make a video specifically about jump technique, so I thought I'd just do that. Which is funny because there's a lot of videos on this topic, but I guess I'll share what I think are the most helpful and what I've been actually doing. Most of these exercises are from Tyler Ray from Project Pure Athlete, so I highly recommend you guys check them out, as they're probably the best in terms of vertical jump technique and the knowledge behind it. So I'll put their workouts down below, so definitely check them out. I think jump technique is such an underrated part of the jump, and when I get comments like, what lifts or workouts do you do to improve your vert? My first thought is, you should just focus on your jump technique. Most likely, if you're a beginner, the quickest gains or improvements can be attained just by improving your vertical jump technique. Sometimes even increasing your jump by 6 inches, and I wouldn't even be surprised if you can increase your vertical by at least 1 to 2 inches. And this is by making just a small change. Okay, first, let's talk about my weaknesses in my jump and what I can do to improve it. After watching this part, I highly suggest you to record yourself and give yourself an honest review or critique of your jump. This way you can optimize and mindfully target on when you can improve. Like I said before, my technique isn't terrible by any means, but one problem I have is that my jump technique is very inconsistent. Sometimes the way I approach a jump is at the right speed, and when I land my penultimate step and the block step, it's quick enough to propel myself upward, but there's still improvements I think I can add. Or sometimes when I approach my jump, I also find myself stutter stepping, which will make me lose all the momentum in my jump. If we look at one of my best jumps in terms of technique, you can see that I'm not approaching with any stutter steps. I'm accelerating through the jump with a decently long penultimate step and a quick punch to the block jump, launching myself and grabbing the 911 rim with 2 hands. I also fully extend my arms, utilizing the momentum from the arm swing, which I'm quite known to be bad at. Which leads me to my first weakness, my arm swing, or the utilization of the arm in my jumps. During my jumps, I usually find myself not fully extending my left hand, and as a right-left plant jumper, you can get quite a bit of rotational momentum from the left arm alongside the block foot, which would be my left foot in this case. A great example of this arm swing can be seen from Connor Barth in this jump. While he plants his block foot, he synchronizes his left arm almost like a pendulum, giving him an extra boost, and slamming the dunk, making it look like a routine. Now, to my defense, I think my lack of arm movement in the jump comes from the fact that I primarily dunk off the dribble. I never took the time to learn how to properly throw and catch a lob, and at the same time to learn the timing behind it. When you're coming off the lob, you have the extra momentum and the speed from the arm swing. This therefore should give you an extra boost and jump higher. It's also why I think if I learned how to throw a lob and learn the proper timing, I might have been able to actually land a dunk on my highest jumps. But that's no excuse, and it's on me for not trying to learn it, so I'll definitely try to learn it over the summer. But the exercise or drill I've been doing to help with my own arm swing is the quick quicks. There's a more thorough guide from Project Pure Athlete, and I will put the link down below. This workout was recommended to me by Pjfperformance. If you guys don't know him, this is what he can do. So Josh, if you do watch this video, thanks for the tips. I was following you for a while since I first watched your crazy spikes in volleyball, so hopefully we can link up one day when I get my first dunk. With the quick quicks drill, focus on really thinking deeply about engaging your knees, hips, and alongside your arms. First begin by pointing your arms upwards in an angle, then quickly swing your arms downwards with your hips and knees, and then finally quickly explode your arms upwards. Repeat this to really get familiar with the movement and to get a more intuitive feeling of your arm swing. I did this for a good 10 reps of 3 sets, but I wouldn't put a number on how much you should do on this. This is also a good warm-up to do before you start a max effort jump. The next part of the jump I find myself lacking is on the penultimate step. One problem I find is that my penultimate step isn't as long as it should be, or it might just be the fact that I have short legs. But I still think I can improve on the aggressive push on the penultimate step, helping me attain more of the longer penultimate step. So a longer penultimate step will allow you to accelerate through the block step, giving you the extra horizontal speed. And to work on this, I just do a regular 2-foot penultimate jump. By starting off on one place, I launch my penultimate step as far and quickly as possible. Then I jump vertically, stopping myself horizontally with my block foot. Also, add in your arm swing to get that extra momentum. Again, I do quite a bit of repetitions to get an intuitive feeling of the penultimate step. Remember, it's not about how high you jump, but how well you get into the penultimate step. With the third part of the jump I can improve on my technique is the last step, or the block step. The block foot or the block step is the foot that comes directly after the penultimate step. As a right-left jumper, this would be my left leg. The block step acts as the braking mechanism and converts all the horizontal speed to vertical speed. So an effective block step should translate most of the horizontal speed to vertical speed. It can heavily vary based on the placement of your hip and the direction of the foot. Also, how quickly you land on your block step also affects the jump. The foot has a big correlation to the angle of attack of the jump, so if your hip or your block step is pointing inwards, it will convert more of the horizontal speed to vertical speed. This is why you see 2-foot dunkers who can get really high master this braking mechanism, effectively braking the horizontal speed and converting it to vertical speed. I personally find myself not being able to rotate my hips inward effectively during my jumps, which makes sense because a lot of my 2-foot jumps cover quite a bit of horizontal distance. I can see this especially with my off-dribble dunk attempts where my block foot doesn't completely act as a braking mechanism and is pointed forward, not inward. Of course, to a certain extent, this makes sense as I do need to cover a certain distance to get to the net, but maybe if I jump a bit closer and brake with my block step more effectively, I can get higher off the floor and potentially land something. The exercise I do to help improve the block step again is a simple approach jump. As you can see from the clips, I'm not really practicing pointing my foot inward and rotating my hips. This is definitely one of my weaknesses of my form, so I definitely got to improve on this even more. Other than focusing on improving the hip rotation of a block step, the second factor that is crucial is the speed at which you land on your block foot. The faster you land and propel your block foot onto the floor, the less energy is lost from the jump. This again comes back to the idea of accelerating through the jump. So on a 2-foot jump, there are 2 peak forces, one from the initial penultimate step and the second from the final block step. The force from the penultimate step has a longer ground contact time, whereas the block step is a really short contact time. The catch is that for the peak force being applied on the block step is far greater than the penultimate step, and the key is to shorten the ground contact time on the block step, so the impulse is not flattened. This concept is best explained by Pjfperformance from Pjfperformance.
This gray line that you're looking at is my left foot. That first blue line is my right foot. So if you look at when that left foot hits, we get that spike in that gray line. That's that left foot. Look what it does to the overall force. It makes me get a super high peak force in a very short amount of time. And that is exactly what we want.
If you guys don't know what impulse is, it's fine, but the main idea is to maximize the area under the force time curve. A great way to train for this quick block step is to use an object to jump over or onto, most popular being the box jump. In my case, I'm using a chair because I don't have access to a box jump. But what this does is that it tricks the mind, or more accurately, gives the intent of jumping over something. The intent makes us try to jump over something as quickly as possible, increasing excitation and motor learning in the muscle. Again, I don't really have the definitive sets and reps to this exercise, but what I think is important is to get the intuitive understanding of what a jump really feels like. Alright, that's it for the video, guys. Hopefully you can incorporate some of these technique exercises to your routine and potentially see some improvements, but more importantly, get an intuitive feeling of what a jump feels like. As for me, I've been consistently doing the dumbbell strength and plyometric workouts. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put the link down below. I made a YouTube video on that a month ago. But otherwise, I've been thinking of buying a barbell so I can do some cleans, deadlifts, and squats, because I can definitely see that I'm losing some strength and explosiveness right now, and I gotta get back to it. Anyways, if you guys like this video, give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.